Now, all eyes were on India's Supreme Court's verdict on Aadhaar, and the international media's response to it has been rather interesting. The BBC headlined it as Aadhaar, India top court upholds the world's largest biometric scheme. US-based CNN's headline was Aadhaar, India Supreme Court upholds controversial biometric database. The New York Times said that India's Supreme Court limits Aadhaar, a sweeping ID program. The Guardian in the United Kingdom said that Indian court upholds legality of world's largest biometric database, but also noted that Aadhaar spawned the second longest case the Supreme Court has ever heard. And now we have Penny Tranberg of Data Ethics EU joining us live from Denmark on this broadcast. Penny, thank you so much for taking time out. We're just looking at the international media's reaction. So I want to understand, this is an ambitious project for India. And today the court has essentially said that Aadhaar is valid. The intent behind Aadhaar is valid. But at the same time, it has taken steps to make sure private bodies don't get access to the data of Indian citizens.
That's extremely important that we have a court who is limiting the use of such an important identification number with DNA and genetic information. So I welcome that, and congratulations with that, because that will safeguard at least some of the privacy of Indian citizens.
Right, but you see some of the reactions that have been coming in from the worldwide. It's, the questions have been raised on Aadhaar, and now today the court did say that there has to be a robust mechanism to secure Aadhaar data, where it is convinced that the chances of the Aadhaar data getting into the wrong hands or being misused is like about 0.23%. Do you agree with the court's argument that Aadhaar's database is reasonably safe?
Well, honestly, I don't know how safe Aadhaar's database is. I don't know the technical terms of it, but I'm very certain that you can definitely work more on the safety of that. And it is a big thing to collect everybody's DNA in one database. It's simply very, very insecure. So even though the court is limiting it, it is still necessary to make all measures to make it safe.
Right. As far as making it safe and security concerns are concerned, Penny, I have to ask you this. Indians give out data, personal data, bank account numbers, email addresses, etc., to a Google or a Facebook and any of these big, private technology companies either way. No questions were raised about that. The questions are being raised right now, but it's the similar kind of data that goes into the hands of the government. At least in this case, it's the government. Help us understand, how safe it is for Indians to share data with say, Aadhaar, which is considered reasonably safe right now, vis-a-vis sharing their data to these global technology companies, which they do on a daily basis.
Well, it's always more easy to criticize your own, and Aadhaar and the Indian government is, of course, informing people about what is going on, whereas big tech companies like YouTube and Google, a lot of people don't understand what's going on with their data. And I don't agree that people voluntarily share all their data with big tech. Most of them sharing all their data with big tech, they don't do it consciously. When they understand what is actually happening to their data, more and more people will start limiting sharing their data. So it's all a question about being understanding what is going on with their data towards big tech. Right,
and you do, see the fine print that's emerged from, this Supreme Court, India's Supreme Court's verdict on Aadhaar. It is now not mandatory for Indians to give out their Aadhaar number to get, mobile phone connections or bank accounts, but you still need the Aadhaar to file your income tax returns.
Well, I mean, we also have a social security number in Denmark, and we definitely need to use that when we file our taxes. If you don't have any identification towards the government, how can the government make sure that you pay taxes? So in that way, it's kind of fair enough, I believe, if it's safe. if they don't share the data with anybody else and they keep it safe, right?
All right, fair enough, you say. Thank you, Penny, for joining us here on Your Story. Now, Wion's Jessica Taneja spoke to former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, after the verdict was delivered. Take a look at a slice of that conversation.
India's apex court has upheld the constitutional validity of Aadhaar, and we have with us former Attorney General of India, Mukul Rohatgi, who had very earlier, when the matter had not gone to the Constitution bench, you had argued. And may I begin by quoting, you had said, once I remember it made headlines everywhere, you said citizens do not have absolute right over their bodies, while you were arguing against Sham Diwan, one of the petitioners. How do you see the verdict today?
I think the verdict is good and is balanced. See, when you are arguing for a party, then obviously you make all the points in favor of that party, whether it's a government or a private party. But look, there are two essential things which Aadhaar has done. One, it has provided a national identity card to every citizen in this country. A large number of people who are poor, illiterate, don't have any identity. They live in different parts of the nation. Somebody carries some kind of a ration card which is half torn, say from Tamil Nadu, somebody carries it from Kashmir, somebody from Guwahati. And you carry it to different places in India where you can't read that language. So now you will have an Aadhaar as a uniform identity, number one. Number two, Aadhaar was really meant to ensure that subsidies which go from the government, it goes from the Consolidated Fund of India. Whether it is ration, whether it is gas, whether it is education scholarships or whatever, those subsidies must go to the right person. The history has shown that for the last 50 years, tens of thousands of crores worth of subsidies were not reaching the right people, but were being diverted.
Right.
All this diversion has stopped, and as I remember, in the last 2 or 3 years, that Aadhaar was made compulsory for getting subsidies. The government of India has saved already about 30 to 40 or some 50,000 crores. This is the advantage of Aadhaar, which the court has upheld. Now, what the court has struck down, and I think rightly, because some balance has to be struck. As I said, Aadhaar was essentially meant for subsidies. It was not meant to link it to a bank, to link it to an insurance company and all that. Now, banks are run today by private people. Insurance is run by private people. You have millions and thousands of employees in banks, and if you share your details, which also have an element of privacy, with all these kind of people, the chances of leaks are very, very great.
Shifting focus away from Aadhaar, Pakistan's new Prime Minister Imran Khan wanted a dialogue with India. India agreed, but India cancelled a proposed meeting between their foreign ministers after Pakistan killed 3 policemen in Jammu and Kashmir. This barely hours after India decided to talk to Pakistan. Wion's editor-in-chief Sudhir Chaudhary spoke to India's Army Chief General Bipin Rawat, listening to the Indian Army's message to Pakistan and its new Prime Minister.
पाकिस्तान में नई सरकार आई है, इमरान खान नए प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं, आपको कुछ उम्मीद लगती है इमरान खान से?
देखिए, शुरू में तो उन्होंने मैसेज बहुत अच्छे दिए। ये बोला था कि हम तो चाहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान से बातचीत हो, लेकिन जैसे मैंने बताया, हमारे देश की पॉलिसी कंसिस्टेंट रही है कि भाई टेरर एंड टॉक कैन नॉट गो हैंड इन हैंड। तो अगर वो चाहते हैं कि टॉक्स हों, तो उनको ये भी देखना पड़ेगा कि टेररिस्ट के ऊपर पाबंदी लगाई जाए। उसके लिए ज़रूरी है कि वो अपनी आर्मी और आईएसआई के साथ बात करें कि भाई मैं तो 1 कदम आगे बढ़ना चाहता हूँ या 2 कदम आगे बढ़ना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन अगर आप चाहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान भी इसमें कम से कम 1 या 2 कदम आगे बढ़े, तो जिस तरह से हिंदुस्तान की तरफ से जो दरख्वास्त आ रही है, जो रिक्वेस्ट आ रही है लगातार, वो है कि टेररिज्म को इससे डीलिंग कर दिया जाए, या कम से कम टेररिस्ट को और टेररिज्म को सहयोग ना दिया जाए। तो उसमें अगर उसकी आर्मी और आईएसआई उनके साथ एक साथ होकर चल सकती है, तो मेरे ख्याल में हमें फॉरवर्ड मूवमेंट दिखाई दे सकता है।
And Pakistan reacted immediately to the Indian Army Chief General Bipin Rawat's exclusive interview to Wion's editor-in-chief Sudhir Chaudhary, in which he suggested that things cannot go on as they are with Pakistan. He hinted that the Indian Army could possibly take some action against Pakistan in the near future. Now, some Pakistani lawmakers reacted to the Indian Army Chief's interview to Wion. They said that it was just big talk by India and that Pakistan is ready for any eventuality.
ये कोई बॉलीवुड का सेट नहीं है, यहाँ पे कोई मूवी नहीं बन रही। ये बॉलीवुड आर्मी चीफ जो गिदड़ बकिया दे रहे हैं, ठीक है, असल में कमजोर लोग हैं। और खान साहब ने जिस तरह कहा कि मोदी जो है ना, वो जो छोटा बंदा होता है, छोटे बंदे को जब बड़ा बड़ा ओहदा मिल जाता है तो वो इस किस्म की हरकतें करता है। अभी इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं, करप्शन की केसेस चल रहे हैं और यहाँ पे चीज़ें चल रही है। वो शिकस्त खुर्दा फौज है, उनमें दम ही नहीं है, उनमें हिम्मत नहीं है, वो पाकिस्तान का मुकाबला कर ही नहीं सकते।
खुदा ना खास्ता अगर ऐसा होता है तो फिर एटम बम पाकिस्तान के पास फिर कोई डेकोरेशन पीस के तौर पे तो नहीं पड़ा, तो फिर ये मुकम्मल तबाही होगी और फिर इस तबाही की ज़िम्मेदारी उसी पे होगी जो इस चीज़ को शुरू करेगा। तो इसलिए उम्मीद की जानी चाहिए कि वो ऐसी हमाकत नहीं करेंगे और हमारी ये जो नाबालग हुकूमत है ये ऐसी बचकाना हरकतें नहीं करेगी जो इन्होंने पिछले दिनों में की हैं, जिसकी वजह से उनको इस किस्म की जो है वो गुफ्तगू करने का मौका मिला है।
आई वुड से वॉर इज द लास्ट रिजॉर्ट। उससे पहले डिप्लोमेसी चलेगी, उससे पहले पॉलिटिकल नेगोशिएशन होंगे, लेकिन एज आई सेड वन शुड बी प्रिपेयर फॉर द लास्ट रिजॉर्ट एंड दैट इज combat war.
The Indian Army chief has sent out a clear message to Pakistan.
अगर वो एक अच्छे प्रधानमंत्री बनना चाहते हैं पाकिस्तान के लिए, तो उनके लिए ज़रूरी है कि वो हिंदुस्तान के साथ संबंध सुधारें, और ये संबंध सुधारने के लिए वो ज़रूरी है कि वो अपनी आर्मी और अपनी ISI को कंट्रोल में रखें।
The message has rattled Islamabad.
मैं इंडियन आर्मी चीफ को ये मशवरा दूंगा कि वो आग से न खेले। पाकिस्तान एक अमन पसंद मुल्क है, अमन की ख्वाहिश ज़रूर रखते हैं, लेकिन अगर हम पर जंग मुसल्लत की गई तो दुश्मन को उसका बहुत ज़बरदस्त जवाब दिया जाएगा।
It's a massive Indo-Pak war of words ahead of the big battle at UNGA. The Indian Army chief's take on Pakistan and dialogue exclusively at these times only on Wion.
And we have some breaking news coming in here on Wion. The Indian government has decided to hike up the customs duty on several imported items. That's the story is breaking over here. Be ready to pay more for your favorite goods. Now, the hike in customs duty is in a bid to narrow the current account deficit of the country. That's the difference between the amount of money going out of the country and coming into the country. But what does that mean exactly? A whole range of household items will now get more expensive. You and I will have to shell out more money to buy anything from air conditioners to speakers to footwear and refrigerators. Those are some of the things on which the import duty, the customs duty on the imported items have been increased. Aviation turbine fuel, ATF, will also attract a higher duty, which means air travel is set to get dearer. Aviation companies take note of this. The big story is breaking here on Wion is that the Indian government has decided to increase the customs duty on several imported items. You will be paying more for air conditioners, footwear, speakers, refrigerators. Those are some of the items on which the import duty has been hiked, and all of this is being done to fix India's current account deficit. We have my colleague Molly now joining us live from our newsroom with the latest. Molly, talk to us. So that means that all the scheduled purchases of refrigerators and air conditioners will need to be rebudgeted as far as the Indian household is concerned.
Certainly not good news coming in for customers in India. Let's just broaden this up and tell our viewers what this really means, where this will actually be pinching their household budget. Several products ranging from air conditioners to household refrigerators to washing machines, less than 10 kg, compressor for air conditioners and refrigerators, speakers, footwear, radial car tires, non-industrial diamonds, semi-processed, lab-grown diamonds, all of those are going to get more expensive. Cut and polished gemstone, articles of jewelry, articles of goldsmith or silversmith wares, bath, shower, sink items, articles of plastic for conveyance, tableware, kitchenware, miscellaneous items of plastic such as office stationery, fittings for furniture, decorative sheets, bangles, trucks, suitcases, and last but not the least, aviation turbine fuel. Now, let's just tell our viewers what this really means. According to the statement that's been put out, the central government has taken tariff measures by way of increase in the basic customs duty of all of these items. These changes collectively aimed at narrowing the current account deficit. Now, this of course is part of the measures that have been taken by the government when it comes to the weakening of the rupee. Remember, the rupee slide, the government has been considering several measures to tackle that. Now, increase in imports along with a weakening rupee would essentially push the country's trade deficit higher. Now, as you've been talking about as well, the country's trade deficit becoming higher would mean that the current account deficit is worsened. So, an increasing imports coupled with a weakening rupee over the last few weeks, that of course has been dominating headlines. One of the measures now that the government has put into effect is increasing the import duty and putting these tariffs in place, which in a way the government hopes would push the country's trade deficit higher, thereby worsening, which of course, the weakening rupee and the increasing imports had pushed the country's trade deficit higher and had also worsened the current account deficit. So all of these measures that the government has been considering over the last few weeks, one of them now come into effect, but certainly not good news, since all of these items that we just listed out would become more expensive as a result of that import duty that has been increased. Krishna, we are awaiting further details and reactions that will be trickling in over the next few hours.